I'm going to show you how to draft a shirt collar. This is an all-in-one collar. It has the collar stand and the collar included. And what you need to carefully do is measure your front neckline and your back neckline. You'll need those two bits of information in order to draft any collar. Once you have that, then you're ready to draft. For this, you will need some form of writing utensil, a ruler or an L square, and a French curve. First thing that you need to do is you're going to want to draw a line that is equal to the length of your back neckline and your front neckline together. You will now want to make the height of the collar. In this example it'll be 3 inches. Make sure that this is 90 degrees. This is your center back. You can label that A, B, and C. From this point, you will want to mark where D is. That is going to be a notch where it will join your shoulder seam. So it's simple to do. Just measure the distance from your center back here, from B, the distance of your back neckline. That is a notch, and that is labeled D as in David. At this point, what you want to do is you want to draw a guideline up from C. And it should be at least as high as A is, so at least 3 inches. Make sure that's 90 degrees. And you want to measure up a 1/2 inch. We can label that as E. With your French curve, you're going to want to draw a gentle line from E to D, or D to E. Either way, a nice gentle curve going to the center front. And you want to draw a line 1 inch or more past your guideline, parallel to BC. So at least 1 inch. You can label that F. If your design dictates a pointier collar, you can extend F out, or you can shorten it. This is just a basic one. So here we have the point of the collar, and you're done. So this is the length of the full neckline from center back to center front. This is the length from center back to the shoulder seam. That becomes a notch, very important. This is the height of the collar. In this case, it was 3 inches. And then this is the collar edge. And this is the neckline itself here. And then you have yourself a standard, basic shirt collar. To draft a Mandarin collar, you also need to have the back neck measurement and the front neck measurement. And what you want to do in this case is draw a line equal to those two measurements on your paper. You can mark that as C, as one does on a collar. This is B. The height of the Mandarin collar is not as high as a shirt collar. And in this case, it's 1.5 inches. You could go a little bit higher if you wanted to, but then it becomes something else. And then that line is also going to go 1.5. At center front, you're going to square a line straight up, center front being C, and you're going to mark it at a 1/2 inch, and that is E. And then from this point, we're going to make a curved line to the shoulder seam, but I haven't marked that yet. So marking out from the center back to the shoulder seam, as you do in a shirt collar. 3, 1. You can mark that That's going to be a notch, but you can label that as D. And this collar is equal all the way through, so after you've drawn your line in, nice gentle line from E to D, what you're going to want to do is make a squared line from E as best you can. That's equal to the height of the collar. So in this case it was 1.5. And you're going to measure out 1.5 all the way through the entire collar. And that should be squared at that point, or equal from A all the way through to there, and then the 1.5 starts too. And I'm just looking here to see where it touches the line. You could use the French curve for that too. So this gently curved rectangle becomes your collar. This can be placed on a folded piece of paper. This is center back, and an entire collar can be drafted from that point or recut out, seam allowance added.